Hey there, it's Tresa. I have been feeling under the weather. Took a little break for the holidays, and I've been feeling under the weather, and I decided that I'm going to make some soup. So I found some split peas at the store, and I decided on pea soup. So I just want to get you started, and then once I get it on the stove, we've got plastic up now, so I've got walls to go through to get from my prep space to my stove. But I've got some leeks and some garlic that I had already chopped up and in the freezer. So I've got those in the pot. I'm actually going to add some butter to that. And then from there, I'm going to add some carrots. And then I have my peas. I rinsed them and they're draining. And once these start to cook down, I'll add the peas, I'll add some water. It's gonna be mostly vegetarian, but I am gonna use some chicken bone broth because that's really nutritious, and I feel like that's kind of what I need right now, where I've been under the weather and needed to build myself back up. I haven't had much appetite for a few days, so I thought this would be good. So I put plenty of garlic and leeks in there to give it lots of really good flavor. I'm gonna add lots of herbs, and I I'm chopping some carrots right now. So I'm gonna get these chopped up and get everything on the stove, and I will come back and show you my next step. I am in the kitchen space. As you can see, we're still under construction. There's still some sanding to be done before we can get to painting. But new cabinets are being built and countertops are getting ready to go on. So lots of good things happening. In the midst of all that, I am able to use my stove. So it's kind of like a construction workshop and a stove in the kitchen right now. So what I've got here in this pot, as I was telling you, is leeks, chopped garlic, and carrots. Put a little butter in, and now I'm just letting them sweat and start to cook down. When they start to get soft, I will add the peas. Now, typical pea soup is made with a ham bone, which I don't have, and I do like to make it that way, but sometimes I like to make it vegetarian. I had this great vegetarian cookbook way back in the day. It's here somewhere packed in a box. I haven't found it yet. It was actually by Linda McCarthy, and it had some great recipes, and one of my favorite recipes in there was a pea soup, and basically all it was like onions, onions, carrots, seasoning, and peas, and she just put water in, or vegetable broth. So you could totally do vegetable broth if you wanted to just keep it vegetarian. It would have a little more flavor than if you added just plain water. But be careful what you get for vegetable broths, because a lot of them have some really icky ingredients, and you want to make sure that it's really just vegetables in there and there's no crappy oils like seed oils or anything like that. You can also make your own vegetable broth, which I do sometimes when I have vegetable scraps. Haven't really done too much of that lately just because we're under construction. So I got some chicken broth, and so once this cooks down a little bit more, I just really want lots of vegetables, lots of nutrients in here. So I'm going to add like oregano, which is a really, really great herb for just like antioxidant support and immune support. I will add some pink Himalayan salt, just for all the minerals in the salt. I will add probably some basil, maybe some rosemary and thyme. Thyme is another great one for just supporting, your immune system and all that. So I will add those, so there'll be a lot of flavors in here. And then really just what I'm going to do is once this cooks down, I'll add the peas. They're just a bag of split peas. They're dried, so they take a long time to cook. So you want to put them in, you want everything on low, and just let it simmer for a few hours, probably 2 or 3 hours at the most. It may not take that long, but I'll watch it. You may need to add a little extra water if it starts to cook down too much. And there's some flavor in the chicken broth that I'm going to be using too, because now typically I would have pulled out some broth from the freezer, but I saw a brand that I wanted to try, so I figured I'd just grab it while I was at the store. and it's loaded with great ingredients. It's all organic. So I decided to just go ahead and do that instead of worrying about having to defrost and then whatever. And then I'm going to have soup for the week. If I want to have it for lunch, or I want to have it for dinner one night, or with my dinner one night. It's kind of great as a starter, as a side, but I love soup for lunch in the wintertime. To me, it's such a great go-to lunch. It's easy, especially if you make it. Like, I love to make soup on like a Sunday afternoon and have it ready for the week. And then whether you just pop it in and heat it up if you work from home, if you work in an office and you need to bring it, you can warm it up, put it in a thermos, or you can bring it to work and heat it up there. I have this great little lunchtime crock pot that when I did work in an office, I used to bring that with me. I had a little to-go container that pops right inside with a cover on it. So I would put my soup right in that, and then I would, I'm just gonna lower this because it's starting to cook, but I don't want it to cook too fast and then burn the garlic. So, and then I would heat it up in that crock pot, and I would have a warm lunch. It took about 45 minutes, so I knew about an hour before I was gonna be ready for lunch, I would turn it on and let it heat up, and then I would have a hot lunch and ready to go. Soup is great with a salad, or just some nutritious bread, or like a savory muffin or something like that on the side. So just a great lunch idea, and I'll be back with more. Okay guys, I'm back. This is looking really, really delicious. You can see that. The everything's starting to really cook down. I did add just a little bit of water just to kind of help get everything a little bit softer, and I didn't want it to burn. So now I'm adding some pink salt, and I've got my herbs here. I decided to do rosemary, thyme, basil, and oregano. And what I like to do when they're dried in the jar like this is, I just have a bunch of jars like this, is I pour it out and I put it in my hand, and then I take it in my hands and I rub my hands together, and it just kind of breaks it up a little bit more. So I have this all ready to go, and I'm gonna dump that in, because like I said, I want it to be loaded with really great flavor and herbs that are going to be really, really good for me. Okay, now I've got my peas. They're all drained and rinsed. They're kind of in a lump because they've been sitting here, but that's okay. They'll break right apart. I'm going to add a couple of cups of water, and I'm going to add some broth, and I'll show you in a second. I just want to break these up a little bit. It won't take much. And then we're literally just gonna let them come to a boil, and then put it on simmer for a couple of hours. So it's just gonna get hot now. So I'm gonna turn the heat up a little bit, and I've got this broth that I've been wanting to try. And I'm gonna save a little bit out because I do wanna drink some, but I'm gonna put in a couple cups for now. And we'll see how this does, because with pea soup, you really want the peas to absorb most of the broth. So it's like a thick soup. I like my pea soup nice and thick and creamy. And as the peas cook down, they'll do that. They'll absorb all the broth, and then you can even puree it up at the end if you don't want like the chunks of carrots or whatever, which I don't mind. So I probably will leave them, but you could put like a immersion blender in. I laugh because I remember somebody used to call it a boat motor, and that's what my kids would call it. And you could put that in and just kind of blend it all if you want it to be super creamy, but I'll probably leave the chunks. Everything's going to cook down and really so much in the next couple hours, it's going to really fall apart. So it's all mixed in. It smells wonderful. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it here on the stove. I'm going to put the cover on the pot. I'm going to let it cook, and I'll come back in a couple hours and I'll show you the finished product. I hope you're having a great day. Hey guys, my soup is done. I wanted to come back and show you. I did taste a little. It's delicious. So here's the soup. It's hard to see. I'm going to ladle it into my bowl and then I'll show you. So you really just want to cook it until the peas just start to kind of melt into, and it becomes like pea mush, really is what pea soup is. Not everybody loves pea soup. The carrots are really tender. All the spices came together and it is absolutely delicious. It's steamy hot. It's perfect for this really chilly, cold, dreary, cloudy winter afternoon here in New Hampshire. And I'm actually going to enjoy a bowl of it now. It's really delicious. The spices came together awesome. It's going to make a great snack for me. It's kind of the middle of the afternoon, but I'm going to have a snack of this soup. Probably have a little more with my dinner later, and for lunch tomorrow because it's delicious. And I've got a pot of soup that's going to last me the week. Like I said, it's great for lunch. It's great for dinner. Lots of nourishment with all the herbs and the leeks and the garlic. Really, really good immune support with the chicken broth in there. I'm still feeling really congested. I think this is going to help clear me up and just make me feel better. And I hope that you are having a great day and staying warm wherever you are. God bless. Thanks for joining me here. And I hope you'll come back again soon. Have a wonderful day.